Hi, Michelle here. Just a couple of minutes late logging on. I'm getting a bit slack, aren't I? I think it must be this mad time of year that we all have it in December at least. Yeah, certainly here it is. It's crazy. And so as a result, you sort of get up a bit later and takes you a little while to get going in the morning because you have such busy nights, usually entertaining and doing last minute things. And I don't know, people get in a mad rush to head towards Christmas. And when you're in business, you feel like, oh, I've got to do everything I can. And maybe it's because you're thinking, I've got to make the most of 2016. So you race towards the end of 2016 to make sure that in your business it was a successful year or something. Or you're spending a lot of time thinking about what you're going to do next year, and so you do a lot of planning, which actually is a very useful thing for you to be doing, a very good thing to spend your time on, to set up 2017 in a good way. In fact, I've done a couple of webinars based on that. I'm probably carrying on again. I could put them up if anybody wants them. I could put them into our resource area. I don't know if it's of interest to you or not. But anyway, but it does bring to me what I want to talk about. So today is day 9 of our challenge. You should be 2 or 3 days now into, at least 2, you should have had 2 days worth of creating some images if you're sort of on track. Or at least you should be starting to think about it. Like in Australia today it's Monday, so in America I know it's Sunday and you're all probably doing Christmas things or all the stuff that you need to do leading down to the next 2 weeks. But hopefully you've spent some time thinking about what kind of images you might create for your blog post. That's right. So last time that we were here, last challenge at about this time, in fact the weekend just gone, instead of doing a live catch-up like this on the Sunday, I actually did a live webinar, and it was just a quick one to show you how to outsource, or what I look at when I'm outsourcing, especially into Fiverr, to do things like outsourcing what we're going to do this week. So it seemed an appropriate thing to do. Now, obviously, I didn't do it this time because I've already done it once and it was recorded. So what I'll do is put it up into the resource center as well, so that you can have access to that again. So if you're interested in finding out how to do that, or you're not sure, there's a few tips in there for choosing an outsourcer or a contractor to do that work for you that I would suggest you have a look at. And that could take a bit of pressure off you. You know, that might take you half an hour to set up, especially if you spend a good bit of time finding the right person to begin with, and you write up a good little brief for them. That might take you half an hour, but it could, as a result, I think when we did the webinar last month, some of the people that we found offered to do something like 10 images for $5, that kind of thing. So you could get quite a lot of bang for your buck, so to speak. I'll put that up this afternoon with this video as well, so that you can see it. I might put it in the main training area. Hopefully that will help if that's what you're thinking about doing. And it could even be that you create some yourself and you outsource a little bit too. So I would like to see some more action. I can see you all hovering around the edge. I can see people liking and occasionally saying, chatting and things in the group. But it would be really nice to see other people's blog posts and maybe a couple of images. I'll try and get a couple done today. I have to do some for clients anyway, so I'll be in Canva. So I will try and create some for myself too, for my blog post. Because the other thing to do, and one of the great benefits of us being in a group, is that we can share each other's things. Ooh, do you like that? so when I say, or when one of us, be mine, but when one of us shares a blog post, it's a really good idea for you to share it with your audience on Facebook as well, especially if it is deemed in some way relevant to your audience. I hope you can hear. I just realised I haven't put my headphones in. You should still be able to hear me because the microphone is there, not too far away. So go and so think about that when you see people posting their fantastic content into the group, especially their blog post when it's ready, not if they've just put it up for your review, but when they're ready for people to share it, then maybe say that you're prepared to have it shared, and then the rest of us, if we can share it, that's really helpful. If you haven't used Buffer or set up Buffer yet, I would suggest that you do, because it's very powerful, and it is something where, so say one of you put up your blog post, I would click on the link, go to your blog post in my browser. So I'd left Facebook and be looking at your blog post, reading it. And then I can click on the Buffer app that I have, icon I have in the top of my browser. and it will pop up my all of the accounts, my social media accounts I have in my buffer, and I can just write something like, here's a great post from a fellow group member or somebody that I'm, whatever. You can choose however works best for your audience. And then I can just hit queue, or I can hit send, I think, post now or post next, or I can schedule it to go out some other time. So I've got something like 3 or 4 options to actually get it put up. And then it would go across all so I would have selected which social media is appropriate for it to go to. So I might send it to my Twitter account, 2 or 3 of my Facebook accounts, and maybe my Google Plus, and maybe my LinkedIn. So I can actually share that article across multiple social medias with just that one little activity using Buffer. So Buffer, very powerful. If you haven't used it, then do give it a go. And it's not just for sharing your things. You should also be using it to share other people's. And I don't just mean from this group, but as a leader of a community. And if you want to be in business and you're growing your business, then you should see yourself as a bit of a leader, even if you're a leading learner, as a couple of my mentors have used that phrase in the past. I.e. you don't know that much more, but you do know a little bit more than the people who follow you, and that's fine. Then what you should be doing is finding other content around the web that you can share, and using Buffer, it's really, really easy. Again, I had some training on how to do that, and we're probably going off topic a little bit for what our challenge is, but it is an important community building exercise that makes you look like a leader in your space. Even though you didn't create these fantastic articles, these other ones that you're sharing in social media, you did go out, recognise that they're great, and share them with your community, and that will then help them as well. So it's all sort of give, if you like. So that's another really good reason to set Buffer up and have it on your browser, because whenever you're in an article that you're reading and then you think it's of value and would serve your community, you can just hit that Buffer app on your browser, and voila, you can send it out to everybody just like that. So it's very quick and efficient, and a great way to grow your community, well, to be serving your community as well, I guess, because you're becoming the filter through which they are getting information, so which is cool. All right. Obviously, the craziness of this month has overtaken you all. It would be nice to see a little bit more activity, as I said, in the group with you, with a couple of images and things like that. This is supposed to be a challenge, and yes, this month makes it very much challenging. Thank you, Christmas. But you can have fun with it. As I said yesterday, I'm going to go and try and create a couple of images and see if I can relate them somewhat to Christmas, although my article doesn't really have that much to do with Christmas. I suppose I could come at it from the angle of, decide on your perfect passion business idea now, and next Christmas will be even better, or something like that. I don't know yet. Anyway, I have to think about it. Let's see if I can get it to work. Squish it in. Might be putting a round peg in a square hole, but who knows? I can give it a go. All right. Questions, anything like that, let me know. Again, I generally post an image into the Facebook group once a day for you to put questions in. I don't mind where the questions are. Actually, you don't have to put them under that. We're pretty relaxed, like I am in general. You can obviously turn up to the live chats, which are usually around this time every day, give or take an hour, depending on what else is going on. But I do let you know if it changes from this exact time. And I will answer them live, and I love to have conversations with you. So it would be nice to see you live. So when you can, if you can come on, that'd be great. Otherwise, leave the questions in the group, and I will answer them here, because we actually only have, what have we got? I think we've got 5 days left. So we've got, for me, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Actually, we've got 4 days left. Maybe today's day 10. Otherwise, day 9. Shows you how much I'm staying on top of it. I'll have to check that. Maybe it's day 9. Oh, that's a bit strange. Anyway, either way, I will be back tomorrow, and we really don't have that many days left today. This week, there's a few days. You at least try and create one image. If you create one image, that's awesome. Not to mention, there is a $50 Amazon voucher up for grabs. In fact, I think I might send an email out to you all to remind you that there's a $50 Amazon voucher up for grabs for the person who creates the most. I don't really want to keep it myself because I'm the only one who creates lots of images. So get out there, create some images so that you can get yourself a little Christmas present. That would be my pleasure to give you. All right. Take care, and I'll see you here tomorrow, same time, I think. Yeah, same time tomorrow. There's nothing special happening tomorrow. Okay. Bye. Have a really productive and creative day.